What up, Razzballers? Week 15 is upon us. For 99% of us, that means it's playoffs. Fantasy football playoffs are upon us, and it is go time. We hope that you have started your fantasy playoffs. If you're waiting until next week, that's an issue we'll address during the show. Week 15 is upon us. We got your start-sit questions right now on the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. Good morning and welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Sky Guasco, Skyguasco. Week 15 has come sooner than I thought it would. I got to be honest. We talk about this all the time, but it's like this 8-month prep. We go nuts talking about shit that doesn't matter forever and ever and ever and ever. Most of that just ends up not mattering by the time we get to the season. Then we get to the season, and then it's week 2, week 6, week 10, bye weeks past, Thanksgiving, boom, fantasy playoffs. And here we are, folks. We want to welcome everybody jumping in with us. Hopefully that means you're in the fantasy playoffs. And if you're not, still play strong. Have some integrity. And some of you have consolation brackets. Some of you want to avoid some embarrassment in last place finishes. Whatever the fun is for your leagues, we want to help you with that through the rest of the season. We do have 3 weeks left for the fantasy football playoffs. We might even be here for week 18 for those of you that don't actually know what you're doing. And then after the season, we will have a ton of content for you as well, heading into dynasty operations, a reflection back on 2024, looking at 2025, of course, draft coverage, free agency, all that fun stuff as the calendar turns. So make sure you keep it dialed here to Razzball. You can find everything Razzball at Razzball NFL on X. You can, of course, subscribe right here to the YouTube channel, and you can find everything repurposed as well, except for the Sunday live episodes on your podcast, anywhere you download your audio. That's a Razzball Fantasy Football podcast. And then, of course, all of these amazing articles and writers available with exclusive tools for you for free at football.razzball.com. We got a 5-panel for you this evening. Again, my name is Sky. I'll be hosting throughout the morning here. We got Matty Styles as well. That's Styles08. Davey Cruz stepping in with an actual assigned seating. This isn't even a pinch hit. This is like an option in the batting order. Love to see that in the 3 spot there. That's Cruiser 128. We got Derek Favret carrying the lumber as usual, holding it down with the weather report. In the 4 slot, power hitter, big stick, if you will. Derek _Favret, and then Bob LaMarco hitting in the 5 hole. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think that's a good spot for Bob, maybe cleaning up the trash in case anything happens at the top of the order. That's Bobby LaMarco on X as well. I think we put Matt in the 2 hole, I think, exclusively for his wheels. Am I right on that? It's speed. You bunt, base hit, maybe a blooper over second base. Oh, sorry.
No, he's a sacrifice hitter.
Yeah. We let Matt go first because he says bad takes, and then everybody says the other thing, and Matt goes, I changed my mind. I'm going to go with the group, and I'm going to say that.
I dig it. Well, welcome in, everybody. We got a handful of you jumping in the comments already. We do have some major injuries, of course, at the top of the hour. That's 9 a.m. on the Best Coast, and on the other side at noon, we have Bob, who's going to be breaking down your injury report with all players. That defensive that matters and helps our offenses, obviously, offensive line, anything like that. So stay tuned there as well while the rest of us take a break. Again, we got a 5-panel for you. Very excited for Week 15. Gentlemen, let's kick it off here. Let's be a little bit selfish, focus internally for a few minutes here while people rally in with us. I'm going to go around the horn. Maddie, Dave, Derek, and Bob will circle back to me. Obviously, by now, everybody knows what happened on Thursday night. My Niners have decided to head to Mexico, which is fun. I love Mexico. It's a great spot. Great time of year to be there right now. Pretty jealous of them. So the Niners are done. Rams have won 7 of 9, playing quite well, except for my boy Cooper Kupp, who's top 3 favorite player in the league for me. But we all know what happened there. So you can think, hypothetically, like it didn't happen to you, or it literally happened to you. If you started Cooper Kupp, what is one thing you need to happen to bounce back in a major performance from a player you're looking for? If you went against Cooper Kupp, are you adjusting your lineup at all, playing maybe a little more safely? If you had like a dart throw in there instead, just making sure you get your points. If you didn't have Cooper Kupp or the Niners or Rams involved at all in that game, what are you looking for? What are you expecting? What are you hoping for this week in across your leagues? Or a main player, a main game that's a concern, some excitement, a player you've been riding all year that you really need to come through for you right now when it matters most. Matt, I'll start with you. We'll go to Dave, Derek, and Bob. Good morning, everybody. Playoffs are upon us. Let's roll.
For me, it's going to be the depth of healthy receivers is going to be where you're going to make or lose your matchups this week, right? Running backs are pretty much penciled in. You know who you should start, who you shouldn't. If you've got a borderline running back, it probably comes down to the matchup. Right now, you just don't fuck it up is what it comes down to. If you had Bucky Irving and you rode Bucky Irving, you know better than starting Bucky Irving today. Unless you don't have an option. You can go 3 plays and then sit. Isaac Guerrero did well coming off his injury, but I'm not chancing anything Bucky related today. And again, I think that you just have to subscribe somewhat to start your studs, but look at their matchups, and then you're going to have to start flipping some coins and using the analysis that the smart guys on this panel will provide. I shoot from the hip. I shoot from the gut. For most of this stuff, I don't get paid enough to perform too deep of an analysis, right? That's on Bob, not on me. But I'll turn it over to Dave right before we get to our first super chat of the day.
Yeah, Scotty, good morning. I'm going to let Dave kick off here just for a second, and we'll get to you as well. Let the boys read your comment and prepare a little bit for Scotty Eminger coming in hot at 8:08 a.m. on the west side. That's also a Hawaii reference. Great job, Scott. Dave, good morning. What are you looking forward to this week? And then, Scott, we're going to get right to you.
Good morning. I've got a few tournament teams that were banished by Cooper Kupp. So picking up the pieces, got a dynasty team that I've got some very unappetizing QB2s for. I won't speak too long. I've let Mr. Eminger have his question.
I dig it. Let's get into it. Scotty, good morning, man. Thank you again so much. Bob, as we finish this up, just per usual, just give us a quick note on our good friends at Razzball. Morning, gents. Need the high upsides as I took a 0 from Cup. And I think that's an emoji I'm not allowed to say on air as this is a children's show. And Matt already burned our one F-bomb right off the bat. Within 4 minutes, F-bomb off the table. So I can't actually share that emoji. Needs one wide receiver and a flex. We got Thielen, Mooney, Hopkins, Sincere McCormick, Tracy, and Akine. Is Coop worth keeping in keeper leagues? This is a deep question. Love that, Scott. All right, boys, let's keep it focused just on the start sit, and then you can go to the keeper league, yes or no. Obviously, Scott, I'll ask you a follow-up question if you're in there really quick here. Keeper league really quick. What are some parameters? Is it just any round? Is he a first rounder automatically? Where would Cooper Kupp land on your team if you kept him? I think that matters a lot. So please let us know that if you can really quickly. Gentlemen, we'll go around the horn. Matt, I'll start with you. We need a wide receiver and a flex from that group.
By looking at what Scott typed in here, I have it in the exact order that he's got it. I'm playing Thielen and Mooney. Hopkins a very close 3 to Mooney's 2. And then Tracy and McCormick could be 4 or 5. It doesn't matter. And Akine would be the last person of that list that I would play. And I will tell you the answer, the hard truth is Kupp is not worth keeping, most likely in keeper leagues. If you have a younger, healthier, better option. And right now I think that this year has shown that age and injuries are starting to be an issue for Kupp. And Puka, in my opinion, is the wide receiver one for the Rams for quite a while to come. So my answer to that, as much as I hate to say it, is no, he's not worth keeping.
Dave?
Yeah, I'm with Matt on Thielen and Mooney. The only other guy I would consider out of that group is McCormick. Is Kupp worth keeping? Yeah, I'm with Sky. I have a ton more questions. I think Matt's right in a vacuum. If he's your only keeper, I think you've got to let him go. But if he's like a 2 or a 3, I'm not totally overreacting to one game. I mean, it's been 5 years since he had a 0 in a game that he played any significant snaps. So the question is maybe, but I'm leaning towards dropping him if I can.
Derek?
Yeah, going to the starts. It's going to be Thielen and Mooney for me as well. I like both of those matchups. And I'm really I might be the only one, but I'm not as concerned with Kirk Cousins. I think this is a get right game for him. So I'm okay with rolling with Mooney and taking this is a PPR, Scott said. So taking those receptions and rolling it in Vegas tomorrow night. As far as Cup goes, I wrote about this actually in my article. He's a potential 1A still. I mean, Matt is right. Puka is the number one for the Rams now, but Cooper still has upside there. Do I want him as my number one wide receiver? No. There are plenty of other options out there, and then more coming. There always is more coming. So I don't want him as my number one, but I think like you said, Dave, if he's my 2 or 3, and you're keeping that many, then yeah, I would say he's worth a keep, but definitely not if the draft capital is going to cost too much. There's plenty of other replacements out there.
Boss?
Yeah, I would say for Scott's sake, for Cooper Kupp, like it depends on your entire roster, how many keepers you can keep. Like, I know he had a dud, but like to be honest with you, he's been solid this season. He really hasn't been that bad. I know the 0 really hurts, but I think he's a little more matchup dependent than he has been in the past. And Puka's the guy now. It's clear as day. So I do think he's still keepable if you are allowed to keep like 8 guys. I don't know what the keeper rules are, but he's definitely not a priority anymore. As for the start sit, I'm not overly panicked about Kupp giving me a 0. Listen, not every guy goes off every week on your team. Don't overcompensate over one guy. Now, if you had like Jennings and Cooper Kupp and you had a bunch of 49ers guys and maybe non-Puka guys that really didn't perform, then I would start being a little more concerned. But just Kupp, not overly concerned here. But Mooney's definitely the guy I like the most here. A couple injuries. I mean, we'll see about the Falcons are playing the Raiders. The Raiders are dealing with some injuries in the back end. Honestly, if I'm talking upside, I kind of like Tracy here, just from a PPR, just getting check downs. I know the Ravens are going to completely blow the doors off them. I'm not even concerned about the rushing line. I think he just is going to get peppered with targets late. So I would say if I want some upside here, I'm actually going to take Tracy of this group.
Bob, quick quiz. How many targets did Tracy have in week 14? Don't look.
I do not know.
10 targets. Yep.
That's a lot of targets.
It's a lot of targets. I think the Ravens defense is going to smash. I don't really love Tracy this week. Upside plays, though, that's definitely a different way to think about this. Absolutely. Upside is certainly Mooney. Akine is too risky, but he's obviously got the upside just because he's got the score potential. I just like Thielen. I think it's a plus matchup. I think he's playing well. And Darnell Mooney against the Raiders, who were a solid secondary to start the season, not so much anymore. They've been trickling off. And look, David Cruz needs Kirk Cousins to go off today. So does Scott. Let's make it happen. So I'm going to go with Thielen and Mooney as well. As far as Cooper Kupp, this is super sad. I've actually kept Cooper Kupp 3 years in a row. We have a 3-year maximum in my home league for keepers, so I'm actually not eligible to keep him even if I wanted to anymore. There's so many different ways you can do keepers. I won't burn a lot of time talking about it, but Scott, basically the way I handle keepers, it always comes down to obviously the player potential for next season, but the draft capital in which he's going to cost. If you drafted Cooper Kupp in the second round, the third round, is he worth a second, third round next year? No, probably not. So I wouldn't keep him at that value. If somehow you got him in the 5th, 6th, something like that, or maybe someone dropped him because he was hurt for so long and you picked him up and there's like you get him at the back of your draft because he was a waiver pickup. If there's something crazy like that, I would actually keep Cooper. Otherwise, unfortunately, draft capital-wise, I just don't think he's worth it because if you really want him next year, you could probably just draft him again in the 4th or 5th round and not have to burn your actual keeper. But without knowing the rest of your roster and your keeper league parameters, it's kind of a hit or miss, but all the guys are right. I totally agree. Going around. Scott, we appreciate you real quick. Bob, let us know about Good Sports, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, so every super chat, we have decided that we're going to donate every dollar to Good Sports, which is a charity organization that helps underprivileged community provide equipment to kids to help them play sports. So a really cool opportunity to give back, especially this time of year. I know it says, I mean, over the last few years, we've been doing 10% kickback, but honestly, over the last few months, we've decided to donate all the money we get to them. So it's a really good opportunity to give back, especially this time of year. And I think I'm going to do the donation after this weekend so that it gets over there for Christmas time. So any dollar you send us this week, we'll donate 100% to Good Sports.
We love that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here. Again, we got more questions popping up.
One more thing. I forgot to always say, and for selfish reasons, we'll answer your question right away. So, yeah, as a priority. So if you need to throw a dollar and you want to donate, great, but it also will answer your questions first. So you'll jump the line. If you donate, get your questions, and you get on with your day. If you don't like to listen to these fools talk about sports for the next hour and a half. You know? Oh. All right, let's do it.
Hiram, good morning. Start 2, PPR, Mooney, Ridley, Devonta Smith, Elijah Moore. Matt.
What did Janet Jackson used to say, Sky? What have you done for me lately, right? So Devonta Smith is out for me, even though he would have normally been a start. Give me Mooney and Ridley.
Yep, I've got Mooney and Ridley as well.
Yeah, I have them in exactly the order that he puts it up here. Mooney, Ridley are going to be my top 2.
Kid tested, mother approved.
Wow. Nice.
Mooney and Ridley.
How long have you been holstering that?
Honestly, you know what? I feel like you guys are my kids, even though my kids are old. It's like a Benjamin Button type feel right now. But at the same time, usually I hate everything you guys are saying, so I can't say it a lot. So this was the one time where I felt, you know what? I like these guys.
Yeah, I mean, Sky, you're up. I muted him. I'm not going to listen to that garbage.
Cool.
I'll go Mooney and Ridley as well. The Eagles have been passing 21 times per game. Folks, that's like 1990s numbers. We can't have that in today's football. Great football team, great player. Don't love the situation for D. Smith. I'm going to go Mooney and Ridley as well, but Elijah Moore could go ham today. If we get Tillman with any issues and Njoku's out, I think Moore could be a little bit fun in a DFS lineup. So just keep an eye on him.
Is Njoku out or is he game time?
I thought he was out. Is he questionable now?
I think he's questionable.
Okay,
but
it's
doubtful. It's more doubtful than anything.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
I hate to be this guy, but did we give Scott a final answer, Derek?
We did. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty unanimous, I believe.
It wasn't unanimous because we did have the homer pick of Tracy, but outside of that, we were essentially unanimous.
Yeah, 10 targets doesn't mean a lot of yards against the Ravens. Just throwing that out there. All right, Hiram, good luck. Epic fail. Good morning. Man, look at the polite nature of the holiday season. Everyone coming in, just morning, guys. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing? Love to see that.
Until we get their answer, until they lose because of our advice, and then on Monday, you guys suck.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to lose. It's playoff time. We don't do losing at this point. Morning, Kyler Murray or Justin Herbert, half PPR. Then we got Waddle and Tracy. So quarterback, then a wide receiver, Matt.
I think that Justin Herbert has the matchup that will require more passing than Kyler Murray does. So I'm going to go with the former Oregon Duck. There it is. And for half-point PPR, I just think Baltimore is going to stop. They're going to put 8 in the box and make DeVito beat them. I don't think he's going to. So I want the game that's going to have more passing and more opportunity. And I think that that's for the Dolphins, or that's with the Dolphins this week. So give me Justin Herbert and give me Jalen Waddle against the Texans.
For me, the quarterback will be Kyler Murray. I just don't trust the Chargers to pass a lot. It changes from game to game. Sometimes Herbert looks like the guy you want the rest of the year. Sometimes he looks like he belongs on the waiver wire. I know Murray's a little bit of the same way, but I'll take Murray's upside over Herbert. And I'm with Matt. I think Waddle's probably the better play here. Tracy could, like Bobby says, get a ton of targets, but The question is, what is he going to do with it? I think I'll take a chance on the Houston Miami matchup and play Waddle.
So Dave, you don't think Herbert throws against the atrocious Tampa Bay defense?
He could, but the problem is he doesn't always. At this time of year, I want to be a little bit more certain I'm going to get a decent floor, and I think Murray's got a better floor than Herbert.
Fair enough.
So I actually wrote up both of these quarterbacks in my article yesterday, quarterbacks to start versus sit. Both of them were start recommendations for me. I like Herbert a little bit better. He does play about 25% better at home, but he's also facing one of the most friendly defenses versus quarterback matchups. So I do like Herbert a little bit better. I mean, Murray's going to be just fine. He's one of those ones. I think we said it with like Jameis Winston. You don't want to watch the game, but at the end, it turns out all right for fantasy. But so I think he'll be fine. But I'm going to go with Herbert, and I hate to say this, but it's the second time I've agreed with Matt. I just think this is a game where he's going to need to throw more than Kyler, frankly. And so I do like Herbert here. I get a lot of feedback. Is that me or is it you guys? Are you guys hearing it as well?
Yeah, it's Styles.
It's always Styles. When in doubt. I muted Styles for you, Matt. It's all good there.
I said twice that I agreed with Styles, and then the internet breaks. I think that's
the aliens.
I think that's what we saw here.
No, that's Bob doing that. Bob has a switch. There's no doubt. He wants me to look silly. And this is a conspiracy theory. This is no doubt, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Bob is part of the deep state. There's no doubt in my mind.
Nice.
Well, smoking man.
Between that and cats, I couldn't. This is more propaganda. If anybody is pointing out deep state propaganda right now, it's probably Matt. I mean, the people pointing fingers here, I don't know. But anyway, let's take this conversation back to football. Yes. I will say this. Unfortunately, both guys are at home. Both guys are like identical when it comes to matchups. Like, honestly, I like both these guys, and I think that's kind of a unanimous consensus here. But if you're looking at upside plays, I think Herbert, for some reason, they never really let him loose. I mean, we saw in the Cincinnati game a month ago, we saw that upside. Ladd McConkey a little banged up. I'm going to slightly go Murray ahead of Herbert just because, if he ever really needs it, he could turn it loose. And plus, Herbert's dealing with the mild ankle sprain and stuff like that. So I'm going to slightly Murray there. I think Drake May has made the scoring upside of the Patriots matchups better. So I like that as well. And then on the Waddle Tracy thing, I actually lean Waddle as well. Obviously, Tracy. The matchup really isn't great. Obviously, you're hoping for a few late checkdowns. You're not expecting much crazy production. But Waddle, that Houston game should be fun. So Waddle would be the pick here for me.
I like it. I'm in it. That's a rescue boxer in the background, by the way. My computer is getting angry. You never notice that restarts only happen on your computer when it's absolutely not the time to happen on your computer? It's my favorite. Anyway, sorry for the dip out there. I'm going to go Justin Herbert and try to keep it unhomer. But Tampa Bay's secondary is absolutely horrendous. I do think that Baker's going to be able to keep up enough with the Chargers. And this is kind of a must-win for both teams. So I expect it to be one of the most competitive and high-scoring games of the day. And Herbert has still yet to throw for 300 yards since week 7, which just a couple years ago, that was a weekly event. So I'm going to stick with Herbert. Obviously, the rushing upside is with Kyler, but I think the ceiling is with Herbert. So I'm going to stick with that. On the other side, I'm going to go with Tracy. I don't think this is going to be a big game for him, but I do think it's going to be a lot of volume. I just don't trust who's going to get the ball outside of Achane for the Dolphins. And on the road in Houston, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be offensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator that know each other well. Usually the defensive coordinator wins that battle. So I think Houston could get that win. So I'm going to go with Tracy there and Herbert.
Yeah, before we move on there, because in all that kerfuffle, I didn't get my running back pick in, or the other pick. I was going to pick Tracy as well. I was going to actually quiz you guys. How many times has Jalen Waddle received double-digit targets this year? Without looking.
3.
I see 3. I see 4.
1.
1. It was last week.
Gross.
Yeah, so recency bias may lean Waddle, but I'm going to go with Tracy as well. So let's review, because that was a close one. There were 3 votes for Herbert over Murray and 3 votes for Waddle over Tracy. So 3-2 on both of those.
Also,
Nice.
Tyreek has finally shown up as well, and playing quite well. And Jonnu Smith is absolutely crushing it. So going to be interesting there. A lot of pre-NFL playoff matchups coming up this week as well. So should be a fun day of football. Okay, let's move on here. Epic Fail's got another one here. Also in PPR, we start Bucky or McCormick, Etienne, Javonte, or Spears. So pick one of these running backs.
For me, it's McCormick. I don't think you can risk starting Bucky. He is the late game this afternoon. So if you want to see if you get some clarifying news, he's supposed to suit up, but he was supposed to suit up last week, and he did. And he played a handful of snaps and then didn't come back in the game. So it's the playoffs. Don't get cute. McCormick should be the volume player here. And I also somewhat like ETN, but that was ETN from 2022 and 2023, or excuse me, 2022, not necessarily 2024. So I'm not touching the Denver backfield, nor is Bob. And Spears is good, but he is not going to get the majority of carries over Tony Pollard. So give me by addition by subtraction, give me McCormick followed by
Yeah, it's tough because Bucky has been so reliable until last week, and now he's not healthy. A healthy Bucky's like a slam dunk here. But I'm with Matt. I like McCormick out of the rest of these guys. ETN, Javonte, Spears, there's no guaranteed workload there. I think McCormick is well liked by the coaching staff, and I think he's going to be at least the ball carrier, if not the passing down back. So give me McCormick out of these guys. If you want to wait on Bucky, fine. McCormick's game is tomorrow night, so you've got it covered.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think Dave kind of hit it on the head there that if you want to wait on Bucky, and he is to play, but even if he does play, he's going to be limited. He's not going to get the full workload, so you might want to go beyond that anyway. Alexander Madison is back, and he's healthy. He's going to cut into some of McCormick's workload. I mean, he was, if you remember, he was the running back they brought in to be the running back for Vegas this year. So do I think he, certainly supplants McCormick? No, but he's going to cut into him, just like we see in Denver, that happened in Denver. It's happened to some degree in Jacksonville as well. So I don't really love any of these options outside of Bucky. So I agree. I think, like Dave said, you wait and see. If Bucky plays, just go with it and just take whatever you're going to get. But if he doesn't play, I'm probably I just hate to I just don't believe in McCormick, to be honest with you. I just don't think he's going to be the alpha this week. But I just don't really like any of these other options. So I'll go with the guys and go with McCormick, but I really don't love it.
I took this question as 2 separate questions, like Bucky or McCormick, and then the other question is ETN, Javonte, Spears. Is that not how we were reading it?
No, not how I read it.
It's a group of 5.
Double or. It's the double or that got me. I'm a little confused. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I will say this. I'm McCormick. I like him a lot. I think he's. I think the problem with McCormick is Desmond Ridder going to be the starter or not? I honestly am not overly stressed too much about it. We just saw last season, like the Falcons had no problem producing running back production with Desmond Ridder as a starter. So I'm not overly concerned about McCormick. They're running the ball a lot better. I think he's the guy, and that's everything Antonio Pierce has said. So I think he's the safest play here amongst anybody. I don't like ETN. He only had 4 carries to 18 for Tank Bigsby last week. Like, clearly Tank Bigsby's the guy. Like, they made it very clear last week that Tank Bigsby's going to be the running back 1. Javonte is just it's a crapshoot. Honestly, I have no interest in playing that. And Pollard's going to play. So I don't expect Spears to have a major game. I think Bucky and McCormick are the 2 main guys I like here. I'm playing Bucky. If he's active, he's in. For me, I don't think anybody else is really in consideration. McCormick's probably the RB1 of this group. So I'm going to go McCormick, then Bucky is my top 2 options here. Slam dunk there.
Boy. Derek, are we like 50-50 right now?
No, we're actually all McCormick.
All McCormick, okay. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'll just echo what everybody says. I would hate to bench Bucky, who was RB1 last time he played, and then RB5 as well. He's expected to play, which is great. Again, I think it'll be a shootout, but he didn't practice all week until Friday. Usually in football terms, it's not a good sign. McCormick is getting 12, 15 touches as well. I don't think Madison's going to do anything. Madison was a healthy scratch last week. Not worried about that, and I'm taking the rest of the guys off the table. So I'm going to go McCormick by a nose, but I'll cheat and say if you need like a boom game and you need the risk, then I would go with Bucky. If he doesn't play, he doesn't play, and you got to work something out. If he does play, he could blow up. If you just need a floor and 10, 12 points with the hope of a score, you can go with McCormick, but I just don't trust the Raiders ever. I'm just worried about Bucky playing 5 snaps and being out. That's my concern there. Scotty, welcome back. Another league with 0 from Cup. Bro, feeling you. PPR, Hawkinson or Andrews at tight end, and then DST question, Viking or the Broncos? Thank you. Good luck, men. Hashtag Bills Mafia, hashtag Good Sports, and hashtag Buck Army. Damn right. All right, tight end, DST, Hawkinson, Andrews, Vikings, Broncos. Matt?
I am going to go Hawkinson, and I'm going to go Denver, and that's it for me. Those are the 2 decisions I have. The Broncos are just too good on defense right now. They've laid 1 turd, and the Vikings are the last place team against passing, against receivers. So I'm going to stay with the Darnolds and the whatnots of the world, and I'm going to go with the Broncos. Hawkinson for me.
Dave?
Yeah, I'll take Hawkinson over Andrews. I'm just not sure how much the Ravens will have to pass today. They could run the ball all day on the Giants. As far as Vikings or Broncos, I'm with Matt. I think the Broncos are a better play. I don't think the Vikings are a bad play this week, but, the Chicago's funny as an offense. They'll either throw up a dud or they'll fall way behind and throw up a bunch of points at the end of the game to come charging back. I like the Broncos better this week. And thanks for all the super chats, Scott.
You mean funny like a clown? That's the Bears?
Do I amuse you?
Are you still getting feedback? Are we getting feedback, folks? Anybody?
Sounds good now. Sounds good.
Sounds better now, yeah.
Okay. Shut up, Bob.
I was just going to say, actually, there is a lot of feedback. Maybe you should mute yourself forever. So let's just get back on that.
Derek?
You guys banter when it's my turn to talk. So
I noticed that. You're right.
Point
You're
that
right.
out.
Yeah, you're right there.
I must be in the sweet spot. I'm at the turn here on the screen. So one of the areas, and maybe one of the only areas, the Giants' defense is actually pretty good is against tight ends. Mm-hmm. And like Dave said, this really feels like a Derrick Henry game to me. If you're going to bet a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, which you should bet every week because it just about pays almost every week, this is going to be another one. I'm going to pivot off of Andrews and go with Hawkinson here. And potentially, again, like Dave said, Chicago, they either show up or they don't. And, we really don't know what we're going to get. But, if we get one of those games where they show up, then Hawkins is really going to be involved as well as the 2 receivers. So give me the potential for Hawkinson over Andrews. Andrews is really going to be touchdown dependent. And there's just not going to be a big reason for them to be throwing. And on the defensive side, I want the Broncos as well. Indy comes to town, and we the strength of the Denver defense is stopping the pass, and that's one of the weaknesses with the Indianapolis Colts is passing the ball. So I like the Broncos at least with a pick, keeping the score low, and potentially even a pick six. So give me the Broncos here as well. But like Dave said, I don't really mind the Vikings either. I think that's going to be okay. It's just a little more risky and a little more uncertainty. I want a little more certainty here. Give me Denver.
The Bears. Oh, Bob, go ahead. I forgot.
No, it's fine. No, it's cool, Scott. No, we've been doing the same rotation the entire time,
Right.
And then all of a sudden you just.
I was studying.
Okay. No, it's fine. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You're just trying to leapfrog the boss. I get it. You're hungry for power. I get it. It's fine. So Hawkinson's the guy in for me. Honestly, I know the Giants are tough against tight ends. Giants defense, by the way, they don't even have players anymore. It's just every injury you can imagine. I know Juwan Johnson found the end zone last week, and so I honestly think Andrews should be fine today. The Giants, I'm not concerned about. But, yeah, I'm going to take the upside of Hawkinson in the dome. The Vikings worry me, and also, Broncos and the Vikings are both going to have key cornerbacks out. I think the other team on the other side, Josh Downs should be back this week, which is tough. But I think these are both really good options. I kind of want to say Vikings, but they have more of an upside shootout potential, which could kill you. So I'm going to go Broncos for the security of I'm not overly concerned about a Colts shootout against Denver. But, I think it's Broncos, Hawkinson for me.
Cool. I'm going to go Hawkinson pretty well over Andrews. Of course, Andrews is finally Mark Andrews over the last couple of weeks, which is nice. Red zone target, as we know, but I agree with Derek. Derek Henry, probably about $150 and 2 touchdowns today. Last time, Hawkinson's only played 6 games. One of those games was week 12 in Chicago when the Vikings gave up 27 points. So I'm going to fade up their defense. But Hawkinson went 7 for 114 for a tight end 5 in PPR. So he chewed up the Bears already. I like that on the road. This game's at home. So I like Hawkinson quite a bit over Andrews this week. And again, I just don't think, even if Andrews catches a touchdown early, which he might, I don't think the volume's just not going to be there probably versus the Giants. So I like a shootout with Hawkinson. And then defensively, I'm going to take the Broncos. They've been one of the best defenses all year in the NFL and for fantasy. And while it's a plus matchup against Caleb Williams and whatever the Bears deliver for the Vikings, I agree. That game could get out of hand with points, and then it starts trickling away. So I'll go Hawkinson, and I'll go with the Broncos. Thank you, Scott. Jets fan, good morning. Thanks for everything this year. 3 questions today. You're very welcome. Bring it on. Number 1, Njoku, Noah Gray, or Stone Smart. We're obviously streaming tight ends. Maybe it's tight end premium or so. But Njoku, assuming he plays, Noah Gray, backup for Kansas City, or Stone Smart, everybody's favorite new tight end this week.
I'm going to go with Stone Smart because of news that Derek or Bobby will break here shortly. I broke news last week. I got in trouble. So Bob and his, Bob's cat and I are just going to hang out and not break up this. I don't want to break the news, really. It's because I don't want to get my hand slapped again. So Bob's cat and I will just hang out in the top.
Well, sounds like Matt broke the news without breaking the news. So I'm going to go with Noah Gray over Stone Smart. Everybody. I hear a lot of raving about Stone Smart. I just don't see a volume there. It's possible he gets it today against Tampa Bay, but I'll take a chance on Gray out of these 3 guys with a touchdown.
Yeah, so what's being alluded to, of course, is Njoku just came out. Njoku is out, and I shared it with the gentleman behind the scenes because of this question, not because I'm going to try to upstage Bob's report. So anyway, for me, it's going to be Smart. Just looking, he doesn't have a lot of targets on the year for sure. He did get 3 last week. But what really intrigues me here, 2 things. We mentioned it before. Chargers I feel the Chargers are going to be more apt to have to throw the ball today, which means obviously it brings the the tight end back in play. Disley was a favorite target for Justin Herbert this year, so why not Smart? And then when you look at his games, again, there's not a lot there. But what I did notice was his yards per target. All in 3 of the 4 games where he had targets were all over 10 yards. So he gets down the field, he gets the ball, he moves the chains, and that's going to be, for a tight end, I want that. Gray is, he's been surprisingly good in games he gets into the end zone, but there's just so many different weapons there to different mouths to feed, and we just don't know if this is going to be a game for Gray or not. So I don't want that uncertainty. I want something a little bit more predictable. And to me, ironically, it's going to be Stone Smart.
Yes. Yeah, I think unfortunately Njoku out today. I'm going to go with Stone Smart. I think, listen, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be down both starting safeties. And so, I got to have a little fun out there. Have a little fun. Start Stone Smart. It's a very deep. I don't really know of a better streamer that you could find on waivers. I don't know if the team feels better about a Jawan Johnson type at home this week against Washington with no Taysom Hill versus this, but I would say Stone Smart at least has a good matchup. Injuries are going to back that up. Might as well go for it.
I'm going to go Stone Smart as well. Man, I just don't think Njoku obviously Njoku's out, but he's been absolutely dominant. If he played, to be a no-brainer. Noah Gray is kind of touchdown or bust, which is wild that the second tight end for the Chiefs now is going well. I'm going to go upset of the week. The NFL can't rig all of them, so I'm going to go with the Browns at home over the Chiefs today, just because everyone will bet on the Chiefs and Vegas will get their money back. But I'll go Browns. Let's just pocket that one. Ladd McConkey, a questionable game time decision. I guess it would come down to that for me. If Ladd plays, I feel less great about Stone Smart, but I think he's trending out, and I think that those targets will go to Stone Smart. So, yeah, I'm going to throw a dart there as well. I'll go with Stone for tight end. Number 2, Commanders or Birds at DST?
I don't think you can go wrong. Go with your gut on this one. They're very close for me. I'm not going to tell you what to do because I don't want to be held accountable to my reader, the Jets. Most likely, I lean the Eagles because you didn't pick them up off the wire. They're doing fine. I don't think you can go wrong with the Commanders.
I'm going Commanders if I want a big play out of my defense, but I think the Eagles are the safer play.
I think I'm leaning towards the Commanders. Bobby, don't they get one of their don't they get Lattimore back this week?
Yeah, Lattimore's back and Hayner's the starter.
Yeah, Lattimore returning back to New Orleans in his first game with the Commanders. That, speaking of drama, NFL drama, I mean that's got to be worth a pick 6, right? So give me the Commanders.
I'm going Eagles here.
Wow, that's it. Okay. Eagles held the Ravens to 19 points, which I like a lot. I'm going to go Commanders, though. For DSTs, it's not about the points necessarily. It's about who can make mistakes and capitalize on that. I just don't see Russell Wilson making many mistakes today. Najee doesn't fumble. Yes, it could be a low-scoring game. Could be a fumble or a pick here and there for sure. But I think the Steelers play quite well. The Commanders against the New Orleans Saints, though, could go nuts. So I'm just gonna in DSTs, I'm gonna work on quarterback, and that's the matchup I want to play with. So I'll go with Commanders.
Jeez.
How did we land on there, Derek?
3-2 Commanders.
And how about the last one?
Last one, we're essentially all smart.
Okay,
well,
just
majority smart.
Okay, sorry, I didn't think we caught those on the way out. All right, and number 3 from Jets fan, pick 2, DJ Moore, JSN, Thielen, AJ Brown, and BT Jr., Brian Thomas.
I'm going to go with sorry, Matt.
Well, Dave, if I was Bob, I would yell at you right now, but I'm not going to do that. Go ahead, I'll go last. That's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna take Thielen and AJ Brown.
Yeah, same for me. I'm going to take Thielen and AJ Brown. There's a lot of there's some drama out of Philly this week with the quarterback and the receiver, but I don't see that participating long terms. In Seattle, this is an interesting one because JSN's been just really torching, but this is actually more of a DK Metcalf get right game to me. I did some review of this one, and the matchups do favor Metcalf and then JSN, so that's almost like a red herring here to throw JSN in there because that should be the obvious play, but to me it's not. So. And same with Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, he's been pretty good all year as well, but this just kind of another one against the Jets defense. So I don't really like that in this quarterback situation. Just kind of process of elimination by just looking at the data. Really, just I see Thielen and AJ Brown kind of rising to the top of these five.
Yeah, I'm going to go AJ, of course, Brown. I'm going to lean slightly Brian Thomas over Thielen for me.
They got a full secondary in Green Bay today?
No.
Jair Alexander's out.
He is out for sure. Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm going to go JSN.
That's what you've seen from the Packers recently has been no Jair. So theoretically, your question is, if you like the Green Bay defense the last 6 or so weeks, the answer is yes. Same defense you've seen. But yeah, the top cornerback is out again.
Right. I heard a report somewhere Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, that he was looking to play. I just wasn't sure if he made it or not. I'm actually going to go JSN. I've been kind of riding the train all year. I know that Alexander would be more of a DK guy anyway, whatever, but I'm going to throw that out there. So I'm going to go JSN. I'm going to go AJ Brown as well. Squeaky wheel. Didn't work for Deebo Samuel, mind you. Those of us that watch 49er games. I think the Niners probably cut Deebo Samuel next year. We'll talk about that in the offseason, gentlemen, but boy, what a disaster.
But did it work? It worked. He got the targets, and he just dropped the slant pass. Like, he would have had a touchdown if he didn't drop that slant. Like, it was wide open. So,
but he didn't. And when you talk game like that and then don't produce, it's magnified, obviously. I'm going to go AJ Brown, massive game today because he actually is a wheel that gets squeaked or oiled, I should say, greased. So I'll go AJ Brown and then JSN as well. Jets fan, good luck. I hope that helped on all three of your questions. Okay, it looks like Murph 22 is coming in for us here.
I guess I don't get a vote on this one. That's
you did go last. I forgot you literally went last. Go ahead.
No sacrifice. When I got to Bob, that Bob would do what he does to everybody that jumps the line, that he would give David demerit, but he doesn't. Clearly, there's favoritism. We're seeing it. I don't like it, but I have to live with it because Bob's the boss.
Anyone who watches the show understands that, though. So.
Yeah, thank you, Darren.
No, I meant the fact that we need to be favorite to Dave. And anyway, go ahead.
Because Dave's on every show. Every time somebody needs a pinch hitter,
I can't. To be honest with you, I can't upset Dave right now. So, Dave, you're doing a great job as well. You look fantastic tonight, and keep up the good work.
Dave is the Ichiro of the Razzball crew. I mean, he just shows up and he just plays. He's Ichiro. That's what Dave is.
Dave gets 2 gifts at the holiday party this year, I think. It'll be good.
All right, Sky, the dog's barking. I'm going to pass. I have the same question, everybody but JSN. I hate it, and I don't want to go give an answer that's about my lineups from my heart. So I'll pass on this one.
Go pet your dog. Murph 22. Good morning. And Bob, is this a fantasy focused review here? Murph 22 is very familiar, but it looks
I do not recall.
Razzball. Murph, are you an OG from Fantasy Focused? If you know what that means, you are. If not, disregard. Murph 22, appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for tuning in with us here. Full PPR, 1 flex. Bucky, Bigsby, Braylon, Worthy. Could have gone with a 4B there, but that's okay. Let's go Bucky, Bigsby, Braylon, or Worthy at the PPR flex.
Dog stop barking.
Go.
So I will go Bigsby because of Bucky's injury. If again, we're going to say it 100 times in the show. If Bucky's healthy or was healthy, 100%, practiced all week or at least practiced Thursday into Friday, he's the no-brainer. Since that's not the case, Bucky took the backfield over from ETN last week, so give me Bigsby.
Can I say one thing before everybody else answers? So
I mean, if you want to jump the
6score.com.
line, we have a clear order.
No,
now.
Matt, read the sign. Just read the sign. Okay. Anyway, so I looked on. So if everybody knows 6score.com, Pro Football Doc, they give out a number, a 6 score, a Sports Injury Central, essentially the health of the player based on the type of injury they have, and they gave him a 57. And so normal guys this time of year in the low 90s, high 80s. So like. They're thinking like even if he's active, he's about 57 to 60% of what his normal production should be. I love Bucky, but honestly, 18. That's just something I want to factor in here a little bit. But over to you, Dave.
Well, I'm glad to hear that about Bucky. Bucky's the guy if he's healthy, and he's pretty obviously not. So I'm going to take Bigsby. I think he's probably got the best track to volume out of all these guys. It sounds like Breece Hall's going to play. I know we'll find that out in a little bit. But even if Breece Hall doesn't play, that looks like a pretty even split between Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. And I just don't like Worthy as a volume play at all. So I'm going to go with Bigsby.
Yeah, I tend to agree with what I just heard Dave say. With Braylon, I mean, his carries just dropped down to single digits when there's a lot of competition there for carries, and he's just not getting them. Unfortunately, he may get into the end zone, but that you don't want that in a PPR. You want someone who's going to be targeted. He's going to get carries, and that to me, out of these four, is going to be Bigsby. So reluctantly, I'm going Bigsby. I don't love the matchup, but it's all about volume. In PPR, he can catch the ball too. So I need to take all those points you can get from this position, and it's going to be Bigsby.
Yeah, Tank. By the way, is there anything I'm missing last week? Because 18 carries to 4 for Travis Etienne. I don't think I missed something, right, on an injury front.
No.
He's not on the injury report. All right.
Bigsby was better.
The
Yeah,
Jaguars
I think,
ground that game into the dirt. That's why it was a 10-6 game.
and that's how you beat the Jets, right? You run the football against the Jets. So and so I'm gonna go Bigsby. I mean, listen, if Bucky, I think all of us would sit here right now and say if Bucky wasn't even on the injury report, this would be easy. We'd all say, and honestly, I don't even think Murph would even ask the question. He'd be like, I'm going Bucky. But at the same time, we're just gonna Matt, we're not. I'm gonna go Bigsby here over Bucky.
Oh yeah, it's generally a go Ducks, obviously, but I agree with the boys. I'm gonna stick away from that. So what's Bob? You want to find a 6 score while you're dialing in? What does Breece look like? I mean, you can just do that while I talk real quick and maybe give a report back if you can.
82.
So again, remind us the high number's bad.
High numbers are good.
High
So the higher the better. So you
82%.
want your players
So-
to be in the low 90s is the ideal. That means like they're basically 100% healthy. So 57
what I'm
is
taking away from that, it's a percentage of what their
healthy.
maximum output can be, right?
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, so Breece most likely plays, and therefore Braylon probably doesn't do much. Worthy's a dart throw. Obviously, we don't trust Bucky. I hope he blows up, but that would be a disaster for fantasy if we all bench him. So I'll go Bigsby as well. Thank you, Murph. Appreciate it.
All right, Sky, before we go to the next question, I just, if anybody has something they can pour out, the next comment's going to be tough to read. I'm going to lay it at Sky's feet to read it. This is not going to be pleasant. Fair warning. Sky, here you go. I don't envy you your position right now, but here you go, buddy.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Let's just take a moment of silence really quick for Bill Dino. Just 1 second.
Oh, man.
Oh man, Bill.
Sorry to hear that, Bill.
Bill, I feel if it helps, man. I had a league where I missed the playoffs because of a start-sit decision I made. I hear you, man. It was a tough break. One move, I would have made it, and because I didn't make that move, I lost, got knocked out. So I feel your pain. It happens. It's the worst.
Hey, Bob, how about we let this be about Bill for a second?
Yeah, no, I was just trying to empathize with Bill, not trying to take any shine here. But back to muting, I'm really, really just going to I'm going to need you just to focus on this for a while. All back here. I just want to take that, just put it right on you here. There you go.
Bill, we appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and having a good vibe all season long, man. You're always here with the program, and hopefully you stick with us over the postseason. Maybe you got some DFS going on. You're looking forward to next year, but we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, Sky, fair warning here. Tyler has got what looks like the second part of a question, and then he fills in with the word twice later.
Twice was I saw this pop up. Twice was when we were guessing somebody's Jalen Waddle's double-digit targets. You can disregard.
Gotcha. Okay, so for Tyler, we probably need that the full question somewhere at the bottom. It looks like a carry-on from. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. I read it better now.
Okay.
With Ian Ritter, do we prefer Myers or Reed? All right, back to you, Sky. My bad.
Got it. No problem. Thank you, Tyler. Good morning. And we saw your twice come up there. So only one time this season, for those of you that missed it, Jalen Waddle's seen double-digit targets, which is ridiculous. Okay, Tyler wants to looks like with it being Ritter, Myers, or Reed. So what is the question?
So the question to me is he's assuming Ritter's going to be the quarterback for the Raiders. So
I'm sorry.
Do we want Myers or do we want to pivot to Reed?
Yeah, just comma, boom. Maybe even like a semicolon. No, probably comma. Okay, so Ritter's a quarterback.
I am going to say that this is a complain game. So A.J. Brown's going to light it up. DK Metcalf's going to light it up. Deebo Samuel should have lit it up. Jaden Reed is going to get a complain game. 0 points last week. So give me Jaden Reed partly as a homer, partly with the complain game narrative.
As far as I know, McConnell hasn't been ruled out, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Ritter tomorrow night. I'm still going to take Myers over Reed.
That's a tough call. I think this is if I'm Tyler, I'm looking at, do I need? Am I chasing a ceiling game? And if I am, I'm going after Reed. If I need more
finally
convincing points than or points that I can count on, especially assuming this is a PPR, I'm probably going to go Myers. I think he'll get more targets. So it really just is depending on the situation that I'm in with Tyler. But if just in a bubble, I'm probably going to go Reed because I want the upside that Reed potentially has in that game, and I see that game being a little bit more of a offensive game as well compared to the other one. So give me Reed slightly over Myers. I don't feel great about it though.
I'm going to go Myers here.
Yeah, likewise. I know what Jaden Reed's supposed to be, and he's like the Deebo Light or whatever, but unfortunately he's also like Deebo Light on Deebo's season this year too. Looking at his numbers, I mean, since the bye week, 2, 3, and 6 targets, just one last week, before he got hurt. Seattle, so they're going across the country up to the Northwest. The weather's might be going to be a little muggy and wet up there, and he's just not producing the way that we thought he was going to. So he scored a couple touchdowns the last 3 weeks, but other than that, he's just not producing. Under 27 yards each week since the bye week. Jacoby Myers on the other side doesn't score touchdowns, but he's had 15, 11, and 10 targets over the last 3 games. So it's a volume play for me there, better matchup. So I'm going to go Jacoby Myers. And Bob, thank you. I've been craving ducks all morning, and I didn't want to call it out in case anyone else didn't need it. But I like some elevator music in my backgrounds. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ralphie D. Potentially a new name here coming in from X. Ralphie D, good morning. And also, not to get too personal, but I think Ralphie D is going at least 2 buttons down, maybe 3, depending on the shirt. He's out vibing. I like that. Good work, Ralphie. Swift or McLaughlin? I have Travis Homer as well. Where's Jamie? I've been waiting for Jamie all week. Roshan's out, which I hate, but he brought up Travis Homer like 9 weeks ago, and I think it would be great to talk about him just for a second, but we'll skip that until it comes up. Swift or McLaughlin? We also have Travis Homer, who's the last Bear standing.
For me, it's Swift. He's supposed to be playing tomorrow night. Denver is just such a tough backfield to trust. I know McLaughlin got 14 carries last week, and I remember a few weeks ago, Audric Estime got a bunch of carries, and everybody was all over Audric Estime. And the following week, Javonte Williams came back, right?
Yep.
So it's a hard backfield to trust. Swift is supposed to play. You do have Homer as a backup, and it's the night game. It's one of the night games tomorrow night. So I'm going to go with Swift.
Yeah, same for me. I'm going to go Swift as well for many of the reasons Dave just explained. I don't really love either of those names, to be honest with you, but hopefully this is like a flex call or a running back 2 call for you. But yeah, go with Swift.
So if Swift is out, right? Like, I'm just curious. Like last week, who got the touches behind Swift? Was it Homer?
Wasn't really Homer. And Roshan's out. Roshan Johnson's out this week, so.
Yeah, he got 2 carries on 10 yards.
Yeah.
Why does it?
Darrington Evans.
Oh wow!
Let's be honest. If you're starting Travis Homer, it's best to just move on to baseball.
Well, obviously, if it's because you're starting him, wow, that's super weird. If you're sorry, last week I was in the wrong game.
It's week 14 was last week.
Darrington Evans also is on the roster, and he got 3 carries. I think Darrington Evans might be the guy you'd want to handcuff in this situation. It's
Great
Swift.
Said Derek 35 seconds ago.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think Evans might be the guy you're going to have to handcuff it. It's obviously Swift. He did not look great last week dealing with the groin. His 6 score is a 68. But at the same time, McLaughlin, honestly, like Dave said, every week it's different. I mean, sure, maybe it's McLaughlin's week to give 10 plus carries, but it might be Javonte. So I can't even imagine starting McLaughlin here over Swift. So I'm going to go Swift, and I would actually pick up Evans and start him in that scenario.
Swift if he plays. If not, McLaughlin. I don't want 3rd, 4th string Bears. Period. I don't even like Swift, but he's better than
Denver plays today.
Yeah, Swift is tomorrow night.
Monday night. Yeah, you got to make a decision now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sky.
Yeah.
Whatever news you get on Swift, take it, and you're going to have to live with the starting Swift.
Yeah, throwing this out there quickly. In Chicago, week 12, they played the Vikings, who they played today. In week 12, he had 17 touches for 65 total yards, no touchdowns. He was running back 21 in PPR that week. He plays in Minnesota this week. Minnesota's run defense is fine. They just can't stop the pass. So I don't really love DeAndre Swift, but it's tough to trust the Broncos.
So here's they're going to be down 14-0 quick. Addison with a touchdown, Jefferson with a touchdown. They're going to be first quarter. They're going to be down 14-0. They're going to get rid of the run, and it's going to be all Caleb Williams dry heave throwing the ball. Minimum 40 pass attempts for Caleb Williams today. So all of the pass catchers for the Bears. So if that helps, and Jaleel McLaughlin feels better than no running game for Chicago. The Minnesota cannot stop the pass. They are the worst statistical defense against the pass. Yet somehow they are 11-2 or 13-2, whatever they are. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. 12-2. So play teams that throw the ball against them.
Fire up Keenan Allen, huh? Okay.
No.
We got.
Just say you like Caleb Williams?
No.
Dave,
Cool.
playing with fire here, Dave. Let's keep it civil.
We like volume. Even shitty quarterbacks put up fantasy points. Here's a quick quiz, Derek. Which counts more, first quarter points or garbage points?
Well, I always want the garbage points.
Love garbage points.
Me too. They all count, unless they're against me. Then I hate them.
I am a fantasy raccoon. I live in the garbage.
Nice, Dave. Love to hear that. Man, Jay Cutler was so great for garbage points late in games. Oh, it was the best.
Fourth best
Ralphie
Green
D, we
Bay quarterback.
appreciate you. Nice. We appreciate you, Ralphie D. Let's get one more question here. And then, Bob, I'm going to turn it over to you for the injury report at the top of the hour. Again, folks, we're going to answer Lightning Bets question, and then Bob is going to take it away and take the floor for about 10 minutes, give us a rundown of all the injuries. And then, Derek, if you could, during that time, maybe just get a fresh review over any weather concerns. So when we come back, we can have an update on that. And then we'll be with you for the next 45 minutes or so after that to get all of your lineups set up. So last question before the break here. Got to start one wide receiver in a flex in a half PPR league. Which two are you going with out of these guys? We got Thielen, Brian Thomas Jr., Pollard, and Garrett Wilson. Leaning BTJ and Thielen, but I'm very torn. Let's help them out. We got to start a wide receiver in a flex half PPR.
All right, Sky, who do you see as my background?
That looks like Adam Thielen. That looks like Brian Thomas Jr.
Moving on.
Dave?
So how you should, by the way, we can just mute you permanently, never get feedback. All you can do is just flip the rotation of your, I like it.
Bob, why don't you take it to the people? Take it to the people and see if they want me muted. The answer will be unequivocally maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Thielen, and I'm going to go with Pollard.
Yeah, I want Pollard in that game. I mean, Cincinnati defense. I mean, come on.
He's definitely playing. Pollard's definitely playing. Okay.
Yeah, we want to target that game. So and I've been riding Thielen for the last few weeks, and I'm on him this week as well versus the Cowboys. So I'll go Thielen and Pollard as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pollard and Garrett Wilson. I mean, just the Jags defense in the secondary is not good. Man, I hate. By the way, this is a really good all around, but I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson and Pollard.
Yeah, got to go with TP. Boy, Brian Thomas. I'm worried about Pollard's workload today, as well as he seems pretty banged up, even though he's facing the Bengals defense. I know that's kind of where I'm at too, but the workload, man, at this part of the season is just, if he's out there, I think they're going to roll with it, and the Bengals can't stop anybody. So I'm going to go Tony Pollard there, and I'm going to go Brian Thomas. Oof, Garrett Wilson could be nice, but Devontae catches the touchdowns. So I'm going to go Pollard and Brian Thomas. Love me some Thielen.
Wow. We were all over the place on that one.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we did give him Pollard, but after that, it's a crapshoot.
Okay.
All right. Good luck with that, Lightning Bets. And that's all we got for the first half of the Start Sit show. And I'm going to take over now, and I'm going to do some quick review of the injury report. And while the guys go get themselves, stretch their legs, get themselves a nice cup of coffee, a glass of water, and maybe a Halls or two to loosen up the throats, and Matt, whatever he's got to do for the audio on the back end, maybe he can fix that as well. Derek will be out of the break. I'll be throwing it to Derek. Derek's going to do a quick weather update. And by the way, Derek, I'm thinking I'm going to bring you on with me. We're going to do a double shot before we bring the other guys in. So no one can stop you from talking. I want to make sure you get that shine that you always deserve, my friend. All right, we're going to get into the injury report today. Some really fun ones, obviously, especially if you're a Giants fan. We're going to have a great time today. All right, let's get into it. All right, Commanders at Saints. Some injury news for the offensive line. Obviously, injury. They were about to have 100% of their line back for the Commanders. Unfortunately, their center will be out today. Don't think that really matters too much against the Saints, but thought it was notable to bring up here. Obviously, some injuries. Noah Brown, the number 2 wide receiver, is out. A deep name that has popped up is De'Ami Brown. Terry McLaurin talked him up today. If you're in a 16-team league or a much deeper format or a DFS dart throw, De'Ami Brown is an interesting name, now taking over for Noah Brown on the outside. Of course, Derek Carr is out. Jake Haener plays today. I think Jake Haener might be okay in this matchup. No Taysom Hill obviously allows Juwan Johnson to be a solid potential streamer tight end this week. Obviously, Kendra Miller is a name to definitely monitor. He definitely has shown some wiggle as a running back. I do like Kendra Miller is a dynasty kind of trade target, especially this time of year. If you still have trades available in dynasty, I don't mind kind of trying to get him on your roster. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of this. And why is it not? There we go. Jeez. All right. Jumping on Chiefs at Browns, obviously the weather concerns will let Derek take over, but that's kind of the biggest concern here. Obviously, Jedrick Wills, the right tackle, is still out. Cedric Tillman and David Njoku are both out today. Weather permits, Elijah Moore would be a PPR. Wide receiver, 3 dart throw with all the injuries here. And then, of course, on the defensive side of the ball, Greg Newsome, who kind of plays a little bit in the slot, the cornerback for the Browns, is going to join Jeremiah Usu-Koromora. That's really been the biggest key. He's the stud middle linebacker for the Browns. He's been out for a while now. Now they're going to be down to the corner. Should definitely help the Chiefs a little bit in that matchup, but the sloppy weather might lead running backs in that game. Bengals at Titans, Orlando Brown out for the Bengals. But really the most important thing is the 3 key cogs to Sheldon Rankins, Logan Wilson, DJ Turner. At all 3 levels are out for that Bengals D. I do like Tony Pollard in this matchup, even though he's a little banged up. 6 score 84, so relatively healthy. On the other side of the football, some notable injuries. Obviously, middle linebacker for the Titans, Jerome Baker, is out today, and also their slot cornerback, Roger McCreary. Obviously, you're not really worried about anybody besides Jamar Chase, but I do like T. Higgins as well with some injuries on the back end of that defense. Dolphins at Titans, the biggest one here, obviously, there's a couple injuries to the offensive line. Nothing really too crazy, nothing cluster injury, basically meaning multiple injuries to the fronts for each team. But left tackle Jerome Armstead is going to be out for the Dolphins today, which is notable. Jalen Petrie, who's kind of their stud safety, is going to be out today for the Texans as well. That should definitely help open things up for Jonnu Smith in the middle of that field. Ravens at Giants. Woo! Well, the good news for the Giants is starting safety for the Ravens, Marcus Williams, is out today. I don't know if that really matters if you look at the rest of this list. Multiple injuries across multiple fronts, but really the biggest names are on the defensive side of the football. Of course, Tommy D is going to be starting today. A lot of fun. He'll take a few sacks, but the guy's going to have a lot of fun out there. We're going to be at the Paisan. It's going to get it done. Just from entertainment value, it'll be fun to see him get sacked a few times, throw it around, run around. So I'm excited as a Giant fan to watch him lose this game because we want to keep losing. Go Giants. On the defensive side of the football, every single level. I'm not even going to go through these names. The 4 of the 5 starting secondary players, all 3 corners and a safety, are out today for the Giants. They're missing a bunch of guys in their front 7. Derrick Henry smash. I think Zay Flowers finds a way to get it done today, even in the quote-unquote bad game flow. The one thing that's hanging on the Giants' hat is that we'll be home, so I think you should not fade Zay Flowers if you have him on your roster. Jets at Jaguars today. Breece Hall is officially in. One notable name that popped up late is Tyler Conklin is out today. Obviously, backup tight end situation is a question mark for the Jets. Might help throw some more targets over to Wilson, Lazard, and Adams in that matchup, including Breece Hall as well. DJ Reed, one of the stud outside cornerbacks, is out today for the Jets. I like Brian Thomas. I know Evan Ingram is out. No Christian Kirk, no Gabe Davis. There's a lot of notable injuries. If you're looking for a really deep name to stream, Brenton Strange had some nice games. If you're looking just for some level of production, he might be okay against the Jets, who are not a terrible matchup for tight ends. But I think Brian Thomas with the DJ Reed plus the Jets allowing some production to the slot this season, 42% of his fantasy points come from the inside. So I'm still good with Brian Thomas, even with Mac Jones with the Evan Ingram injury. Cowboys at Panthers. So some of the injuries are starting to pile up for that Cowboys offensive line. No Zach Martin, of course, but their center Cooper Beebe is out today too. That's going to start, causing some issues. I know they're playing the Panthers. Much improved defense. Rico Dowdle is still a rock-solid RB2, but still notable that they'll be dealing with some injuries up front in that game. On the other side of the football, Trayvon Diggs is out today for the cornerback spot. Obviously, they got back Bland, and they also have Jordan Lewis as well, but another injury on the outside. Listen, for what it's worth, Adam Thielen, I think, is still a solid play. He's clearly the number one option here, but Diggs being out should help him as well. They're also going to be missing Overshown, who's been like our upstart linebacker for them. That's a big news and a big injury for that Cowboys front. Chuba Hubbard, by the way, might be the only guy getting carries today. Expect a heavy workload as Rasheed Blackshear is also out today, according with Miles Sanders and Jonathan Brooks as well. Middle linebacker Tevin Wallace is out today for the Panthers. That's notable, especially with the injuries to the offensive line. It should even out a little bit. Something to monitor is Jalen Coker. Obviously took over for Thielen in the slots. He's officially back. This is going to be the first game that these two are both on the field together. We'll see how that shakes out. Definitely something we want to monitor heading into next week. Later window games, we still have a lot of question marks here across the board. The good news is guys like Ladd McConkey are officially going to be active today. That's going to be good news as they will be down Will Dissly in that game. So obviously Stone Smart makes an intriguing streamer. I like Justin Herbert. If you have Justin Herbert, he's at home against a very banged up Buccaneers secondary. They're going to be down both their starting safeties in this game. They're also going to be down one of their key middle linebackers, KJ Britt, as well. So that's a lot of injuries on the back end of that defense for the Buccaneers. So I do think that the Chargers do have an opportunity here at home, especially with Ladd McConkey playing. No Jalen Reagor as well. Should open up more opportunities for guys like Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson on the outside. Maybe DJ Chark gets a couple more additional targets. Colts, still waiting on a couple questions about Ryan Kelly. Hopefully returns with Braden Smith out. If Ryan Kelly does not return, that's 2 additional injuries to that offensive line for the Colts. Josh Downs should be back in today officially. Sounds like he will be playing in this game. That's good news. I think Josh Downs is still a wide receiver 3. If you need to start him, he's not a terrible matchup, as Riley Moss on the other side is going to be out. He's the opposite cornerback from their stop guy. Why do I always forget his name? And the Broncos stud guy, and I'm not going to remember it right now. Anyway, he's a really good cornerback. Patrick Surtain, there you go. Bills at Lions. Of course, Dalton Kincaid is a game-time decision. Sounds like he should be back along with Keon Coleman. Good luck trying to figure all that out. Obviously, it's going to be a big-time rotation between Khalil Shakir, Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman, and Mac Hollins should still get work as well. When Kincaid returns, obviously, it's a lot of weapons to try to figure out, but that game should be a lot of fun. Rajul Douglas, the outside cornerback, is going to be out today. It's good news for Jamison Williams and Tim Patrick especially, but I do think this is an Amon-Ra St. Brown game. The injuries continue to pile up for the front 7 for the Lions. They're going to be down Alex Anzalone, of course. Malcolm Rodriguez got hurt, the other linebacker. And then the guy, Trevor, who's replacing those two, is also going to be out today. So that should help a little bit alleviate some of that pressure for James Cook of running against that defense. Steelers at Eagles. Of course, George Pickens is out today. That's going to be notable news. Obviously, the Eagles have been a slot funnel defense. If you're looking for maybe a DFS dart through, Calvin Austin is that guy. And Pat Freiermuth has a tough matchup against the Eagles against tight ends. But at the same time, he should get a couple more looks with George Pickens out. A couple other injuries. Dallas Goedert is out today. Should definitely help Devonta Smith against the Steelers. I think Devonta Smith is still an okay start this week. How you beat the Steelers this season has been on the perimeter, on the outside. So I think A.J. Brown has a big game. Get him in your DFS lineups as well. Packers at Seahawks. No Jair Alexander. And they're also going to be down one of their safeties, Javon Bullard. So that's a couple injuries on the back end. I think DK Metcalf has a really nice day today. And listen, JSN has been solid. The Packers are one of the toughest slot defenses in football, but hard to get away from his production right now. So obviously I think JSN's okay too. Kenneth Walker is looking out today. Zach Charbonnet, folks, if you only played him last week, you'd probably be in the playoffs. Speaking for myself here. Anyway, Bears, and let's go to Monday night. Couple key injuries here. Roschon Johnson is out. It sounds like DeAndre Swift should be playing, but he will be limited to a certain extent. His 6 score is pretty low, so that's just something notable there. Stephon Gilmore is questionable. Hopefully, if he's out, either way, you got to like the matchup for DJ Moore this week against that Vikings secondary, especially if Gilmore is limited at all. Falcons at Raiders. I think the biggest one here is obviously Alexander Madison returning, but it's still Sincere McCormick's backfield from everything I'm hearing. Max Crosby is going to be out too for that Raiders defense. Listen, Dave, I never answered your question before. I like Kirk Cousins this week, buddy, as your QB too in that league. So if you need to start a guy out of those guys, I like Kirk Cousins. As the Falcons front is going to be dealing with some injuries as well. James Smith-Williams, Graham, Troy Anderson. There's a couple guys in that front seven that are going to be out. So that definitely should help Sincere McCormick on the ground. I really like Sincere McCormick. He doesn't have a lot of touchdown upside, but I do think he has a safe floor. I think he gets you double-digit fantasy points this week, even if Aiden O'Connell, who's questionable, sits out. Going to bring in Derek here. Derek, we're going to give you a quick weather update, my friend. What do you got for weather?
Yeah, common theme this week, especially on the East Coast and Midwest, is some rain and wind. The worst of it being in Cleveland with the Chiefs coming to town. What I'm seeing is constant wind, 15, maybe 20, with gusts up to 30, and more of a crosswind. So that's going to hamper maybe some of the wide receiving options for both teams. Elijah Moore being one that's probably on a lot of radars. So that kind of puts a damper a little bit on him. Other games I'm watching, Dallas at Carolina. I'm seeing possible showers maybe later in the game there. Wind shouldn't be that much of a factor, but it might get a little sloppy towards the later part of the game. Same thing in Jacksonville when the Jets are coming into town. Possible afternoon, some showers there, a little bit, some gusts again, up to 15, maybe 20 miles an hour. And then the other one is in Tennessee, same thing. Cincinnati in town, and Joe Burrow. If he's one of your quarterbacks, that's going to be something to consider, perhaps. If they got a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind there, do you pivot off of Joe Burrow? And go with someone maybe like a Tua or one of the other quarterbacks that are kind of in that area, or do you stick with Joe? So for me, I'm sticking with Joe, but there may be a little bit of weather playing into that factor as well.
Let's talk about that Cleveland Chiefs game really quick before I bring the rest of the guys in. Obviously, that's a big concern. Obviously, you got Patrick Mahomes, who's going to be 100% owned. Jameis Winston's been picked up a lot of leagues. Like, I guess my question is, like, I'm assuming guys like Justin Herbert, for example, Kyler Murray types. Those are definitely guys you're going to play over those quarterbacks. What about Sam Darnold against the Bears on Monday night? Would you start Sam Darnold over guys like Patrick Mahomes?
I would, yes. I think there's a little more upside there. I'm not too worried about connecting Mahomes with Kelsey. For instance, I don't think the weather's going to really play a factor there. But when you start talking about Worthy and the other options, Hopkins, I think that's where we might see some of that limited. Plus, Pacheco is back, and you're trying to get him established. So I just don't see that. I think there's a lot of factors at play to maybe pivot off of Mahomes and go a different way.
What about C.J. Stroud, who's been struggling at home against the Dolphins?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd like to, I think I would like to pivot, honestly. I'd like to pivot to C.J. Stroud, but that's a tough call. I probably would pivot, but boy, I would not feel great about putting my playoff hopes in those hands, to be honest with you.
Last one, Aaron Rodgers against Jags.
Well, Matt's not here, but he'll be here in a minute. But no, I'm off of Aaron Rodgers in this experiment with the Jets. It's a great matchup. He's got actually the best quarterback matchup of anyone this week. But there's just if Jacksonville gets any pressure whatsoever on the Jets, he just can't move. If that doesn't happen, then he'll probably be fine. But if Jacksonville gets any pressure on him, then it's going to be a long day for Aaron Rodgers owners. So I'm looking to pivot. I'm finding any positive reason to pivot off of Aaron Rodgers.
All right. Let's bring the rest of the guys back in. Obviously, we have thank you guys for taking some time to stretch your legs and relax. Got the weather updates, the injury updates. Now let's get into the start sits. Let's do it.
Terry McLaurin. CeeDee Lamb. I feel like I'm at an airport. Sometimes, it's like quiet in the plane, and then they open that door and you walk out, and it's just immediately just bombers. Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, Andrew Smith. Good morning, Matt.
The right answer is probably Terry McLaurin, but I'm not benching CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I'm going to go with McLaurin.
Yeah, it's going to be McLaurin for me as well.
McLaurin for me.
McLaurin as well. Quick side note, just maybe a head nod, a thumbs up. Is anybody concerned about Jaden Daniels? Not as a player, about the game script. Maybe Washington rips up the Saints. The Saints can't compete. Shuts it down. Run game. Nobody's concerned about Jaden Daniels. Okay.
Well, I would say this
I'm more
before we
concerned about Cooper Rush.
Well, sure, but I'm more thinking just, yeah, I'm with you. Just like the Commanders may not need to throw in the second half. That's all.
Not only that, but Carolina has turned into a pretty decent pass defense.
I think Carolina wins the game. They're favored for the first time in
They
2
are,
years,
yeah.
and I think they just straight up beat up Dallas. But yeah, just curious about Jaden Daniels for fantasy points. I think they're going to be fine in the game. I think he's going to be fine, but it's a big week. So, Andrew Smith, good morning. Thank you.
Before you say that though, what are we thinking about? Would you start Tua against Houston over Jaden Daniels this week?
No, I think Houston beats him up. So no, not in that instance.
All right. So then I don't think we're overly concerned. Start Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
In a dome, he's going to have some fun. Off the bye, he'll be fine. Go let the kid play.
He was QB 1 and 2 before the bye as well.
Washington still has something to play for too, so don't forget that.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Andrew. Michael. Good job, Matt. Michael, full PPR, flex wide receiver, use Thielen or wide receiver. Wait for late. Oh man. Full PPR flex. Use Thielen, wait for Ladd. If he doesn't play, pivot to Palmer, Bucky, Bigsby, Warren. A lot of Bucky and Bigsby's. We've talked about him quite a bit. So basically, do we play Thielen? Do we wait for Ladd McConkey? And then we have a bunch of flex options there.
Before Matt answers, Ladd is in. So
100%. Okay, great.
100% in. Confirmed it.
Sorry, I missed the injury report. Thank you.
I would appreciate if our listeners and followers would start to use punctuation. It would help us immensely. A dramatic pause, 3 dots, a comma. I don't even care if you use the punctuation correctly.
Ellipses, I believe it's called.
Ellipses, right? That's fine. Yes. I am going to probably play Ladd over Thielen as 100% go as Ladd is. I don't know. Is this 2 questions? Is it 1 question? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 1? I don't know. So, yeah. Dave, do what you do, but sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna start Thielen full stop. The rest of them are irrelevant to me. I know everybody's gonna like Ladd here, but I'm going with Thielen. So basically, to me, what this is saying is use Thielen, wait for Ladd. If Ladd doesn't play, pivot to one of these other guys.
Yep.
So I'm just saying Thielen for me.
All right. Yeah. Then I'm with you. If Ladd's not playing, but Ladd's playing, so give me Ladd.
Yeah, if we have confirmation that Ladd's playing, then I'm going to go that way. He's just a target monster. So yeah, full PPR, flex play, give me Ladd.
Ladd for me. I think the other thing about it too is you have really good options in the late window. It looks like I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So you're playing Tampa. You have Palmer to pivot to. The Jags are playing early, aren't they? Or are they playing late today?
Jags are playing early.
So we'd have to make the decision beforehand for Bigsby. But I'm comfortable enough with Bucky and Palmer as backups if Ladd, for whatever reason, something happened, he tweaks something right before kickoff. So I'm going to go Ladd for me.
I agree. You got to start thinking about that kind of stuff this time of year and have backup plans on the waiver or whatever. You do obviously have a number of options. If that happens, I'm going to go Palmer over Bucky. Palmer missed 82-yard touchdown or something last week, just an overthrow by Herbert. So I think it'd be fine. Ladd, 12 targets, 9 receptions, 117 yards in his last game. He hasn't scored since week 8, but he's Julian Edelman, so we don't really expect touchdowns. But I'll take the volume, absolutely. Epic fail. Welcome back. PPR start three. Start three, gentlemen. Tracy McCormick, Elijah Moore, now that Njoku's out. But weather concerns, Downs, Gus Edwards, and Westbrook Akine. Start three. PPR.
3. Tracy. I'll go with the first 3. First 3 are fine with me.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tracy, McCormick, and Downs. I don't love the matchup, Downs versus the Denver, but I'm a little bit the Cleveland game looks a little bit shaky as far as weather goes.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Tracy McCormick, and I'm going back to the well. We did this last week. It didn't pay off. Westbrook Akine gets back into the end zone.
He dropped a touchdown.
Yeah, he did. That's right. Give me Westbrook Akine. In garbage time, too, wasn't it? It was right at the late end of the game. Garbage
Man,
time.
we love us some GT.
Yes. So I'm going to go Tracy McCormick and Westbrook Akine.
10-6 game is there's no garbage.
Well, okay. Well, still at the end of the game.
It's all well. The whole game might be garbage.
The whole game was
depending how you look
garbage
at it.
time. But
It's either no garbage time or all garbage time.
Yeah.
So I want to say this. After the 49ers-Rams fiasco on Thursday, I got to say, whatever, iPhone weather app, get it together. That was awful. I was on the app like an hour before kickoff. I'm like, oh, the rain's going to stop in 20 minutes. We're good. Did not happen. So shame. Derek, I hope you have a better source because, geez, that was awful for my sake. But Elijah Moore just absolutely has a fantastic matchup against the Chiefs. So many injuries around him. He should be good. But I don't think I'm going to trust Jameis against the Chiefs in a bad weather game. Tracy McCormick for me. Honestly, I think Downs is just a month ago. Downs was a potential league winner for everybody. He just looks awesome. And I think with the Broncos, are they home this week?
Yeah, it's in Denver.
From Denver.
Yeah, I think that Bo Nix always plays better at home, and I think that he'll be able to put up points at home against the Colts coming out of the bye, and I think Downs will be peppered with some targets. And before the injury, he had that one game where he had like 3 plays called back, dropped, 3 plays called back by holding calls, all that ridiculous shit, and he ended up having a bad game. But he really had a nice production, so I think Downs is a lock for me. So I'm going to go Tracy McCormick Downs.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same as well. I was pretty stoked on Elijah Moore. I said that like right off the bat this morning, but if weather's more of a concern there, I don't love it. But I really think the Browns get the upset today, and I think Jameis could go Jameis, but that's just the distribution of the ball there. So I'll go with Tracy McCormick and Downs as well. I do like Westbrook Akine call. Derek, the problem is, yes, the highest likelihood in the NFL of a touchdown is Westbrook Akine. If he doesn't catch one, though, the rest of the volume doesn't seem to be there. And that's a very boomer bust situation at this point of the season. I just don't love it where I'll take volume elsewhere.
all right, so we were unanimous on Tracy and McCormick. 2 for Downs, 1 for Akine, 1 for Moore.
Just 5 people. Who'd you miss?
I don't know. Who'd I miss?
Sorry, didn't you say 2, 1, and 1?
I guess I did. So who had 2 for Moore, or was it 2 or 3 for Downs? 2 for Moore.
2 for Moore, I think. Yeah.
2 for Moore, 2 for Downs.
Okay, Jets fan back. Brees Hall is active. Do you play him over McLaurin or Dowdle? Ooh, that's a big 3-pack.
Yes.
For me, I'm not playing him over either one of the other guys.
Yeah, same for me. I like McLaurin the best out of these 3.
I'm playing Brees Hall.
I like Dowdle probably the best, and then McLaurin. So I'm going to fade Brees.
Look at the handle.
I get it. I know the rules, but I know that's also an emotional decision. That's why he's asking us.
So I'm going to let him live through his heart and play Brees Hall. He's gonna play Brees Hall no matter what. So.
I know, and I would love. I mean, I don't want this to happen because I don't want people to lose based on what we say and all this stuff. But I hope Bucky's healthy and crushes it again, to get back to where he is going to be. And I hope Brees Hall becomes Brees Hall, because he just hasn't been this year. He's not efficient. He's getting volume and stuff, but he's not efficient. And Rodgers, believe it or not, is actually playing quite well right now in the pass game. So I just don't like Breece Hall, and I love McLaurin and Dowdle this week specifically.
The Jets will jet.
The Jets will jet. Dylan Fink, good morning. Might be Fink, like a soft I. Not a
Like a Ray Finkel?
No,
Not Ray. It's not Ray Finkel. I googled. It's not from the Ray Finkel family line.
Ray
Got it,
Finkel.
okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Maybe he saw Bob Dylan in one of his bad shows.
Nice. There you go. Got the biopic coming out here for Bob Dylan. Full PPR. Lost K9 this week. That's Ken Walker.
Yeah.
So big up Charbonnet. Need one running back, a flex, and a tight end out of the below. Running backs are Bucky Irving, McLaughlin, and Breece Hall. Braylon Allen. Thank you. I was like Breece Allen. Braylon Allen, and then JMO, Devontae Smith. Then we got Ertz with Terry starting already. So you got the Ertz, Terry, McLaurin stack. Schultz, Mayer, Muth. Shout out to our friends with the footballers. Thanks in advance. All right, we got a big one, boys. We're basically building a lineup here. Take your time. Matt, go for it.
Bucky, JMO, Muth.
I gotta. If it comes down to it, if Bucky's not healthy and he's out, I'm going with McLaughlin. Yeah, I agree with Jameson Williams out of the wide receivers, and I'm going with Zach Ertz.
Yeah, so Bucky and McLaughlin are both in the late window this afternoon. So it's going to be, I think the decision's pretty easy. You know, if Bucky plays, he's there. But if he's not, then it's going to be McLaughlin. That's a pretty easy call. Just steer away from Braylon Allen in the early game. I'm probably going to go JMO as well. May not be a popular pick, but yeah, give me JMO on this one. Detroit is hosting Buffalo. We've got home golf. We've got the highest projected scoring game, and Detroit is favored at home. So I think it's a statement game for the Lions. And if that's the case, they're going to spread it around. There's going to be a lot of targets. This is a Jared Goff. I think he has a great game today. So give me JMO. And then for the tight ends, I'm going to lean Freiermuth as well, although I don't hate Ertz. I know it's odd to say that, but I don't hate Ertz here, but I think Freiermuth is the better play.
I'm going to go Bucky, J. Will, and Ertz for me.
Same. Ertz is a volume play. I think Muth has got more of the upside with that game, but I'll go Ertz as well, JMO, and Bucky Irving. Derek, how do we do?
So we have Bucky over McLaughlin 3-2, assuming that Bucky plays. We're all on JMO, and we're leaning Ertz over Freiermuth.
Quick thoughts. We don't do pick'ems this year. Next year we're doing pick'ems because it's fun, so stay tuned for that. Go around the horn. One team name. Who wins outright? No spread. Who wins the Bills-Lions game? Matt?
Lions.
Dave?
Detroit.
I think Buffalo gets this one.
We go Buffalo as well.
I'll go Lions. All right, Aaron Gonzalez, good morning. PPR. Need to pick one on my flex spot. Elijah Moore, Braylon Allen. Again, some of these are later. I get it once Breece is active and stuff, but Breece is playing today. Jalen Warren, Bigsby, Keon Coleman, leaning Elijah. Matt. Matty frozen? Might be.
I think
Nope. Okay.
No, his hand's moving.
That was a lot of thinking in stoic pose for you, bro.
That
I
was
like,
nice.
What the hell?
I'm trying not to screw the show up more than I have.
You're like wax museum there for a
Somebody has
second.
music in the background. Does anybody have music playing in their house?
Yeah. It's the duck. It's feed the
Oh,
duck.
here I thought it was my stuff the whole time. Whatever.
I just thought it was in my head.
Unreal. Yeah. There's trust me, all your Christmas bonuses are going to therapy at the end of the year. Don't worry about it. All of you get therapy.
Well, then it's not going to improve because we got 0.00 last year in a Christmas bonus. So Bigsby for me, and it's not close with the weather for the Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bigsby as well.
Make that 3. Bigsby for me.
Bigsby as well.
Oh, I wanted Elijah Moore to be fun. Yeah, Bigsby. Let's sweep it. Is that the first 5 bar?
Wow.
In a long time.
I'm going with this. I think I'm going to go with this. Why not? Oh, Styles going with the old grill? Okay.
I hate that. That was good. I hate that I liked Matt's idea. That was good though. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that does. Okay.
Matt's
gotta give credit.
Let's go to Scotty. I believe he's got another super chat here. Matt's best contribution to the show easily is relating with the youth. It's just, Mike Jones quotes, 1990s grunge music coming back, the old grill in the face after a shitty step back 3 that accidentally went in. I love to see that, Matt. Good work. Keeping the kids involved. Good job. Scotty's back. Good morning. Good afternoon almost at this point here. Bob, starting Tracy over Mooney, gut call. It's just a comment. Bob,
you're a sick puppy, Scott. You're a sick puppy. I think you're sick for doing this, but I like it, baby. Just support the checkdowns for days. He's going to have 10 targets. He's going to get a boatload of targets, but I would have started Mooney. But you know what, Scott? Go with your gut, buddy. Trust your gut. I like it.
We'll give Tracy 10 targets, Bob. Over under 5.5 receptions then for we care about the catches. The targets don't matter. How many catches is he getting?
He's going to get 5 because I would say 6, but he's going to drop 1. And he's going to finish with 5.
Shit. All right. Good luck, Scotty. Tyler, start 2. Gentlemen, we have 18 minutes until kickoff. So lineups need to be set. Rankings need to be submitted. Questions need to be answered. Let's rock and roll. Tyler's in here. Start 2. BTJ, Pollard, Brees, half PPR.
I'm sitting Pollard.
Pollard and Brees Hall for me.
Yeah, give half PPR. I'll take the 2 running backs.
Well, correction, I did not see that. Yes. I love Brian Thomas Jr. However, half point PPR. Yes, 2 running backs is the correct answer. Apologies.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is I like Brees. I'm not sitting Brees against the Jags. It's not an option for me. And I kind of want to go Brian Thomas, but the workload's going to be too good. So I got to go Brees and Pollard.
Man, if I played in today's football, I guaranteed would wear the blackout visor. No question about it. I don't care what position I played. Blackout visor, 100%.
Be kind of cool for a punter.
I always thought kickers should wear visors. Why not?
Yeah.
Do the full mask, the neck roll, the whole thing. Why not?
I'd expect a tackle out of you, though, on special teams.
Oh, you don't got to worry about me. I was a long snapper, bro. I got down there first. Anyway, Pollard, and I'm going to go BTJ. I just don't believe in Brees. I know. I get it. I'm going to go Pollard and BTJ. Epic fail, kicker of the week. Bob, you're on the clock. If you don't have it, say it right now. We'll give you a second. We'll go to the next one.
I got it. It's the Vikings kicker. It's my streamer kicker of the week, Will Richard. And then if you're looking for a deeper name, I like Will Lutz, Denver Broncos kicker this week.
If you have a Will, start him. Where there's a Will, there's a kicker. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and also I like the Carolina kicker this week too. If you want to go even deeper,
just nice. So you don't have to update your Will.
Yeah,
Santos.
Santos.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's Kai Won't Santos.
Heyo.
It is Eddie Pinheiro.
Ah, yes.
Oh, Bears legend. All right, the kicker of the week. We got it down. Moving on. Cam, anchor down. Big one. Anchor down. Laporta, Kraft.
I'm going to go against conventional wisdom. Matt Milano is a tight end killer.
Dude's a beast.
But the middle of the field for Buffalo has been where you can make your money. That's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta today. Highest implied total. So give me Laporta slightly over Kraft.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kraft this week.
Same with me. I'm going with Kraft. Buffalo is the third best against tight ends, limiting to just over 4 points per game, whereas Seattle's a little more mid-pack. So give me Tyler Kraft.
It better be Kraft. That's all I got to tell you. I got Kraft in my main leagues and the playoffs. Get it done, please. Kraft.
Sam Laporta.
Stupid.
I think that was 3-2 Kraft.
3-2 Kraft, yeah.
All right. Moving on. Let's anchor down again, gentlemen. Pick 2. A.J. Brown, Lad McConkey, Malik Neighbors.
This is easy. All 5 of us are going to say A.J. Brown and Lad McConkey.
There.
I'm going to go with A.J. Brown and Malik Neighbors.
Oh,
wow. Dude, he just gave you the middle finger. It's this. That's what it is. No middle finger for the 4 spot.
Dave playing a little
That's it,
defense. Dave's got a little lockdown defense right there.
I love that. I love upsetting
Get a
that.
hand up, Dave.
So I'm going with what he said, not what he said.
I'm going with Matt.
Yeah, we'll just go with a lame ass 90% 4 out of 5.
Sorry.
A.J. Brown and Lad McConkey.
Sorry.
All right, Armando, good morning. What up, guys? Which tight end would you start? Chargers Smart or the Eagles Calcaterra?
I want to start Smart, but I believe that Calcaterra is no, because Devonta Smith is playing, so Calcaterra would be the equivalent to Goddard, and when Devonta Smith plays, Goddard doesn't do well. Therefore, math is mathing. Calcaterra will not do well because Devonta Smith is playing. Give me Stone Smart with 2 T's.
That's a smart take there, Matt.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go Stone Smart here. I just the Calcaterra pick just doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah, same for me. I'll go with Smart.
Smart as well.
Samesies.
Nice. I like it.
Ertz or Smart?
All 5 of us will say Zach Ertz. Don't ruin this, Dave.
I will not ruin it.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Moving on.
It wouldn't be surprised to see Smart outscore Ertz, but Ertz is the right call.
I think Smart is like break the glass. He's
Yep.
like I'd rather start Smart than a guy in a bad matchup. A decent tight end in a bad matchup. Like, for example, Pat Freiermuth maybe against the Eagles. I might get excited. I'd rather start Smart, believe it or not.
Yeah, Ertz is going to be your like 6 receptions, 60 yards. Real nice. Smart's going to be like 4 for like 13 or 4 for like 80 and a touchdown. He stretches the field. That was the big one last week, right? 30+ yard reception. Ertz just isn't doing that anymore. So I'm going to go Ertz as well. But I think, Stone Smart could have a nice game. It's just less reliable.
No
All right, here's
safeties
one
for the
for you.
Bucks.
Here's one for you. Tight end premium. Would you play Laporta, Ertz, Freiermuth, or Otten? Or you could play all of them by benching running backs and receivers.
Wouldn't play all of them. I'll
Yeah,
go
we'll play
Laporta, Otten, Ertz, and whoever the other one was. I think Laporta has a nice game today.
I like Ertz and Laporta.
In the game that nobody could do anything in the snow, George Kittle ripped up the Bills. I think they're susceptible against the tight end. I know, and that was Milano's first game back and all that. I love Matt Milano, but I just think the tight end will be fine. Ghostman Ron. Now, this is not Ghostface Killa. Different longtime fan of the show. This is Ghostman Ron, distant cousin, I believe. We have to check the stats. Breece Hall, Rico Dowdle. We have to assume half PPR if they don't tell us, so let's go half PPR.
I have said Breece in recent takes on this. Dave mentioned not being a fan of the Cooper Rush situation. Rico looked really good last week. However, I've said it once, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with Breece Hall this week.
I have all of Ghostman Ron's albums, so I'm a big fan. So I'm gonna go with Rico Dowdle here.
Averaging 20 carries per game the last 3. Broke the century mark of the last 2. Got in the end zone in one of those. I'm going with Rico Dowdle.
Go Brees Hall.
Carolina can't stop the run. And Cooper Rush isn't going to play well today on the road in Carolina. I think it could be a massive game for Rico Dowdle. No-brainer for me. Butker or Flacco?
I'm so confused, but he changed it. He fixed it.
Now, okay, he went one Ravens legend to the next one because maybe Justin Tucker just no longer has his banner in the rafters. What the hell? Can we spend the next 9 minutes we have just on Justin Tucker's collapse this year? It's absolutely dreadful. I hate it. He's also an incredible opera singer who sings in 7 languages, folks. Google it. Let's go Butker or Tucker. Previously two absolute legends in fantasy football.
Tucker was dropped in one of our Yahoo home leagues, and I'm going to go with Tucker. I have the opportunity to either pick up Tucker or start Koo on Monday night. I'm leaving Tucker on the wire.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 2 windy games, but I think the weather's going to be worse in Cleveland, so I'm going to go with Tucker.
Yeah, coming back from a knee injury on a wet field in the wind in Cleveland. Again, I'm going to go with Tucker as well.
If there's an option to pick up like anybody, I'd pick up Will Lutz and play him over both these guys. Personally, Will Lutz, Will Richard, I would do that. Younghoe Koo, I would do that. Eddie Pinheiro, I would do that. I'm not interested in either of these guys.
How about Will and Grace?
No, just the ones I said.
Actually, how about if the Colts drop Matt Gay and install Joe Flacco as the kicker?
Actually, Greg Joseph is now the kicker for the Commanders in the Dome against New Orleans. That's an interesting game.
Go.
I'm going to go with Tucker. He's got to bounce back here. It's a hopeful pick there. We got a couple more questions. We got 7 minutes. You guys have 6 minutes to get your questions in for last minute week 15 fantasy playoffs kickoff here. Get your questions in as soon as possible. Wilson, good morning. Jalen Warren, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Chris Rodriguez. We're in the dumps here with a 4th string running back. More respect to Jalen Warren, I suppose, but what are we looking for here? Jalen Warren over those guys, correct?
My answer is yes, Jalen Warren over those guys.
Yeah, it's correct. Brees Hall's playing, and as far as I know, there's nothing wrong with Brian Robinson. So it's Jalen Warren by process of elimination.
Yeah, and he's still scoring fantasy points with Harris there as well. So yeah, that's the right call.
Yeah, Warren for me.
Samesies. Is that a 5-bar? Let's get it in. Anchor down one more time. Appreciate it, guys. Playoffs. You're absolutely right, Cam. Good luck, buddy. Epic fail. One more. PPR, Ferguson or Derek. Wow. Ferguson or Hunter Henry.
For me this week, it's going to be Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I'm going with Hunter Henry this week.
No, I still like Ferguson.
Ferguson for me as well.
Ferguson also. Last one on the docket, unless anyone else chimes in here. We got DG Wavy coming back. Second question here. Do we make a difference? In my opinion, we have Daniels QB. This is back to the question earlier. So Ertz and Smart have Daniels at quarterback. So that's for Ertz. So you get the Ertz stack. I think we all went with that one.
No, that's his opponent. Does it make a difference if my opponent has Daniels?
Oh, opponent. Sorry.
No,
Sometimes
and
it's hard
I
to
don't
read
think
these questions.
It does not make a difference. In fact, it helps you to take points away from Jaden Daniels. So Ertz is still the pick for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference for me. It's Ertz over Smart.
Chip away at those quarterback points with Ertz.
Yeah, likewise. We have 5 more minutes and we are out of questions. Well done, panel, and well done, everybody. Good luck. Before we chime out here, we did not get to Derek and Bob earlier, which is something that you're looking forward to this week. One player you need to go off, a situation to cover up for the Niners and Rams game, or maybe you face that opponent. Are you playing a little more safely here? Derek, I'll go with you. What's a game, a player, a situation you need to bust off this week?
Yeah, I'm my one playoff league I'm in, my second flex position. I've got names like Coker, Madison, Brooks, Valdez-Scantling, or I could go Brenton Strange or Okonkwo. So I'm really not sure which way to go on that one. That's really about the only decision I've got today, and it's not a big one. But what do you get?
Yeah, I would say this. I really want to see Justin Herbert kind of finally be like I want to see the upside. Like the matchups there, the Bucs should be able to compete offensively against a tough Chargers defense. They're at home. There's plenty of injuries on the back end for that Bucs D. And it's in my main home league. I have him in, and I'm like, listen, dude, like I need you to get it done for me. So I'm really hoping Herbert has a big game this week.
Oh man, I really Derrick Henry just going off as much as you should. We can't have studs having more duds. Got a couple questions from the panel here. We got 3 minutes to kick off. Any final questions? Let us know. Here we go. We got DJ Moore, Brian Thomas Jr., or Connor. Pick 2. Dave.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Connor and DJ Moore.
I like, yeah. I like all of them, to be honest with you, in this context. So I don't know. I'm going to pass the ball.
Okay. Bob?
Yeah. I'm not sitting James Conner at home against the Patriots. That's an in. I'm going to go Brian Thomas as well, slightly ahead of DJ Moore. But I don't really think it's
Thomas and Connor for me as well. Next. Pick 3, Waddle, Amari, T. Higgins, and Thielen. So basically, we're choosing between Waddle and Amari. These are Matt's questions. Go ahead, Dave.
They're Matt's questions. I'm sitting Amari out of those.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sitting Amari as well.
God. I think Amari Cooper. I'm going to sit Thielen out of that group.
I'm going to sit Waddle. So we're good on T. And the rest of them are kind of a crapshoot. I got one for you guys, too. This is guillotine. I know it's a ridiculous question, but I sat Jefferson 2 weeks ago and it panned out. Sat Cup this week and it worked. Sit Jefferson this week against the Bears, who are number 1 against fantasy wide receivers, and he got torched last time. 4, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Robinson, or Cortland Sutton.
Absolutely not. You sit Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Do I play Brian Robinson or Cortland Sutton over Justin Jefferson?
You are playing Justin Jefferson, or I will fly to your home.
I didn't play him. I didn't play him in week 12 in guillotine, which you know how that is.
Yep.
I didn't play him in week 12. He had 4.7 fantasy points on 5 targets.
This is the Bears. They're chasing Detroit, who could lose against Buffalo. You play Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. All right.
If you're sitting Jefferson, I'm going with Sutton.
Okay.
I'm still sour that you landed Saquon Barkley when we bid the same amount, and it knocked me out of that league. Otherwise, I would be in your position today. So I'm still a little sour on that, Scott.
I paid the commissioner a little
Give
bit
him a bad
the
pick.
Preseason.
This is get even. Tell him to
Yeah.
Well, I'm out of it, so I do want him to win, but I can't. In good conscience, I can't give him the right answer.
So Derek said start Tyler Lockett.
So we're sitting Derek in this question.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Sit me.
It's 10 o'clock, so it doesn't even matter anymore. So
Games
the
are locked.
lineups are locked. Games are locked, so everything doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're ready to go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We got a swift 2 hours. Best of luck to everybody. Good luck in your fantasy playoffs round 1. We see all of you back next week, once again, at 2 hours before kickoff in your local time for round 2 of the fantasy football playoffs. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for hanging out with us here at Razzball. You can find us on X at Razzball NFL. You can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on the podcast at the Razzball Fantasy Football Shows and all of our exclusive tools, amazing writers, and content available at football.razzball.com. All these guys are dropping great articles every single week for you for free. Go check it out at football.razzball.com. Best of luck to everyone. Have a lot of fun. Gentlemen, great job. Best of luck to you guys. Let's have some fun. For Matt, for Dave, for Derek, and Bob, I'm your host, Sky. We'll catch you next time. We are out of here.